this show is fucking dog shit. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be discussing episode 4 of the Last of Us TV show on HBO Max. So far, we've done every single episode. We plan to keep this train rolling. The next episode comes out this Friday. Let's see if today's the 6th. What is that, like the 9th or the 10th? I'll put it up on the screen if I'm wrong. We're going to keep this train rolling, man. I've been kind of critical on some things with this show. I've been trying to pull it back a bit. We talked about it on the podcast a little while, and things of that nature. And I want to try not to be as hard on it, because I think what I've finally realized is that this is not the game. This is not the story from the game. It's not going to follow every beat, and I need to be understanding that. And I think most of us who are Last of Us fans have to do that. So, wanted to give my thoughts on it, give a review on episode 4. So, with that being said, let's get into the Last of Us HBO series, episode 4. So, all in all, look, I think what I can really say about it is I didn't hate it. I thought that it was, honestly, since really the premiere, I would say this episode finally gave me some stuff that I wanted to see, although I still have some gripes. I thought that episode 3 wasn't a terrible episode. I thought it was pretty average. I thought it was very overhyped. I thought the whole relationship thing of it, and no, that doesn't mean that I'm homophobic. That doesn't mean that I don't mind slow storytelling. I never really had an issue with that before. I just felt that the episode was not a 10 out of 10 masterpiece that everybody was saying it was. And I think that's pretty fair. So going into this one, I knew this was going to be more about stuff that I wanted to see, right? Like, I wanted to see Joel and Ellie on the road. I wanted to see the relationship grow. And we finally got to see that. We finally got to see them have some sort of connection. You see Ellie reading the pun book and all the dad jokes. And it wasn't hidden with Joel all that much. And you see that in the game. And then, by the end of it, of course, they have that really, really nice, real cute, wholesome scene at the very end where they start laughing at this joke that Ellie tells Joel. And it's a good moment. It's a good moment. And we finally get to see that dynamic grow a little bit. It finally looks like they have some chemistry. I think that was something that I felt was kind of lacking in the first few episodes, was that I just didn't really feel, how could these two characters ever have a relationship? Which in a way you're supposed to feel that, right? Like at the beginning of the Last of Us game, they're not exactly, hey, we're in arms and we're going to fight for each other and we love each other and we care for each other. It's very, it's a lot of animosity there, and and a lot of distrust between the both of them. So you have to see their relationship grow as the story continues. So in a way, it kind of worked out beautifully. The way it left off in this episode. So anyway, that's really the best part. The best part is their dynamic. It was cool seeing them together, and really you're seeing that care, seeing them share a moment together, and kind of having Joel sort of having these, these old feelings that he had with his daughter Sarah, 20 so years prior. So that was really cool to see. We got that sequence, and I want to say it's when, I can't remember where they're going in the original game. I want to think, I can't remember where they're exactly going, but I know in the show, I want to say it's like Cincinnati, I think. No, it's Kansas City. That's what it is. In the show, they're passing through Kansas City, and that's when they run into those Ravagers. They run into those, like, they're pretty much raiders, and the ones acting like it's sick. And in the game, Joel's like, he ain't even hurt, and then floors it and hits the guy. He runs to the store, and then he gets swarmed by 12 guys, and you got to fight him off. And this to do the same sort of thing. They kind of just make the scene a bit longer. And when you get to the point where Joel and Ellie crash the truck and they're inside the store, that part is changed a bit. Obviously, not as many dudes come out to try to kill him. I mean, obviously, they can't do that. It's not very realistic having one 55-year-old guy running around killing 12 dudes by himself. It's hard to do that. But I will say I felt a little lackluster to me. I was telling the wife, we've been watching every episode together, and I was telling her when I was watching it, I felt that it was very subtle. I felt that it was very, like, it wasn't a whole lot going on there. I expected more, like, more of a fight. I expected more gunfights. I kind of wish it was like two more guys there. Like if it was four guys and they were coming at Joel and kind of seeing a little bit of that side that Joel is capable of, right? You know that Joel's done some dark shit. He's run into some terrible people, done some horrible things, and I would have liked to have seen that a little bit more in this episode, where he takes on four or five guys. And the action we did see was very lackluster to me, man. It's like these dudes, it was so stupid. You got Joel behind a truck. He tells Ellie to run. Ellie listens, finally. She runs away. And so Joel is behind this truck, and he's kind of just like he'll pop up, take like a couple shots, or like I think like one shot. I think he's got like a bolt action rifle, right? So it's like, I mean, you really only got like one shot at a time. So he takes a shot, he gets back down, he loads another one in the chamber, and then he gets back up. And like it's like it looks like he's not even aiming. And then finally he shoots somebody. And there's no blood. There's no like real like graphic content here. And I'm kind of disappointed in that. And I know like going into this show, I think that the creator of the show, Neil Druckmann or Craig Mazin, one of the two that are heading the show, they said that they were going to dial back the gore in this show as opposed to the games. And I wasn't really, too disappointed in that, but I was a little like, and I think that's me. It's more of a subjective thing. I like blood and gore, especially in a world like this where you literally have, essentially you got zombies, you have the infected, they're running around, they're eating people and gutting people, and there's really nasty people out in the world, they're cannibals and stuff. And I would like to see a little bit more gore. I think that just adds to the horror. I think I talked about in one of my videos that when a movie just has gore, right, and not a whole lot of the scare leading up to the gore, it's not as effective. You could easily do that in Last of Us with how creepy these infected are, and with the tendrils and then the clickers and all that stuff. Like these are like scary infected. These are very formidable beings here. So I would like to see a little bit more gore. And I was just a little bummed out. Like Joel shoots the one guy, no blood, and then the other guy comes in. And Joel kills him off screen. You only see Joel shoot him. And then you just see like this skinny dude. He comes to the door, and him and Joel like get into like a quick little scuffle. And then like the skinny guy overpowers Joel, takes him to the ground, puts a gun up against his throat. It's like choking him. And like Joel couldn't do anything. And I'm like sitting here like, what are you doing to my boy Joel? Now look, I get it. He's 56 years old, 55, 56 years old. I get that's not like a spring chicken, but come on, dude. The last thing to go is your strength. You're telling me he couldn't like turn a bit, because he's got the gun against his throat. You tell me he couldn't like turn a little bit just to knock the guy off of him and then get on top of him and beat the shit out of him. I just feel like, to me, like that's more realistic. I don't feel like a 55-year-old man in Joel's shape. Joel's in pretty decent shape and definitely way bigger than this guy. And this guy was able to overpower him. I thought that was really lame. But what was even more lame was Ellie. She takes the gun that she took from Bill's house, and she hadn't told Joel about it. And she comes out of a little hidey hole, and she shoots the guy in the back that's choking Joel. And like, there's no blood. Like, there's no blood at all. Like, the dude's laying on the ground. There's no blood puddle. There's nothing. And I'm sitting here like, what are we doing? Like, what? I thought we're living in a world where literally everything's trying to kill you. Where's the blood? This is HBO, man. Like, there's like going into this. And again, I'll bring up Walking Dead. It's not because I like to bring it up to compare, because that's not what I'm trying to do. However, since people like to do it so much and talk about, they're both apocalyptic shows, so you can talk about them. I'll talk about it then. In Walking Dead, like that's on AMC. That's a cable television. And there was way more blood and gore. Way more blood and gore with the zombies and the kills. That's what I want. And in HBO, I'm expecting like a higher level of that. I'm expecting like some like super nasty gory shit, and we haven't gotten that. And so I'm a little disappointed in that. I thought there definitely should have been more blood. But I did like the scene though where Joel and Ellie, it's just after the fact, the whole confrontation with those Ravagers. They go to another building and they're trying to wait it out. You're starting to see more of them populating the streets, and they're in there. And Joel and Ellie have that real conversation where Joel's like, "Listen, at your age, you shouldn't have had to hurt somebody like that." Yada yada yada. And then Ellie opens up and said, "It wasn't my first time," and obviously that leaves Joel in a sense of, wow, what has this girl really been through? And I thought that was pretty good, and it was believable. And I liked how Joel, just like in the games, gives her the gun. and tells her to put it in her backpack, and of course, because Ellie just doesn't listen, she puts it in her pocket. I'm fine with it, and I thought that stuff was good. The only other thing I didn't really like about this episode was I did not like they're making these group of Ravagers. I keep saying Ravagers, Raiders. I know I'm kind of using different names for the same group of people, but I also didn't really like these like Ravagers type people. They're trying to make them more of a group and more of a threat, which I get what they're going for, and I'm fine with it. But I think they could have done a better job with the villain or like the leader of the group. I don't find her convincing at all. I think her name's like Kathleen, I think is what her name is. And I'm sure I'll put her picture up on this video. I didn't find her intimidating at all. Maybe within the next episode or so. I imagine she'll probably be killed in the next episode. Maybe they'll give her a little bit more to maybe I'll be like, okay, I can see it. But when she's like talking and stuff, I'm like, why are people following her? You know what I mean? Like, she just doesn't give off leader vibes to me. She just seems kind of whiny. She has this high pitched voice. I'm sure there's people that would follow her, but I don't see the appeal. So I'm interested to see how that goes with that. I do like that they use the actor to play Tommy in the game to be her right hand man, and I didn't know that until I heard his voice. I was like, damn, that sounds like Tommy from the game. And sure enough, it was, because I think at the end of the episode it shows like a inside The Last of Us, and it gives you like behind the scenes, like a few little behind the scenes pieces of the week's most recent episode, and you see the guy who plays Tommy, and it's the bearded guy that's like her right hand man, and I think that's really cool. And I like how they're dropping the original actors in this show and giving them parts, and even if it's small, it's pretty cool. So, but yeah, look, all in all, it's a decent episode. I'm happy to sit here, be making this video, and be. I know it sounds like I'm being more critical, but all in all, I did enjoy the episode. I love the dynamic between Joel and Ellie. I think it's growing. It's really nice. That whole scene in the woods where he's making coffee and she's like, "What the fuck is that?" All that was really funny, and I thought that was really entertaining. I liked Ellie a lot better. Found her kind of to be bitchy the past 3 episodes. So it's, I really do. I see her character, I guess, improving. I guess, and like I said, I like that. It looks like Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey have a little bit of chemistry. So, I'm looking forward to the next 6 episodes left of it. I think that we got some good stuff to look forward to. I still don't think it's 10 out of 10 show. If I had to rank this episode, I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10. It's definitely above average. It's a hell of a lot better than that bullshit we had in episode 3. Even though I gave episode 3 about a 5, I think it's an average episode. I don't think it's like shit, but it's not that good either. This episode is definitely above that. But I still don't think that episode has come close to that premiere yet. The second episode I enjoyed a lot too. It's had a lot of moments, but I still think the premiere so far is the highest rated episode to me. But we'll see, because there's a good bit of story left, and obviously we see Sam and Henry at the end of the episode. So we got that whole storyline coming up next, and I wonder if they're gonna change a lot with that story, because we're getting to some really, really dark stuff within the story of the game. So anyway, that's all I got for you. Let me know what you guys think about episode 4. We'll be back with episode 5 next week. I think it comes out this Friday, because I think they're trying not to compete with the Super Bowl, so they're releasing the episode a little early. But yeah, let me know what you think, down in the comments, and be expecting episode 5 review. I'm gonna try to have this one out, hopefully next couple days from the recording of this video. So, but yeah, that's all I got for you. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you next one. Bye, guys.